Hi and welcome back to the channel. Today's part of the build of the WRX in the shed is to try and get the interior all done and maybe even get a coat of paint on it. A couple of quick answers to some questions. Somebody was asking me the other day, why don't I make longer videos, like put more together in this, just film more and make them sort of half an hour or 45 minutes or whatever. Part of the reason for that is we have incredibly slow upload speeds. It is ridiculous. National Broadband Network, really? Seriously? No. Australia has some of the worst internet speeds in the civilized world, which is probably in the whole world actually, which is absolutely bloody terrible. And to upload, say, 15 minutes of video takes somewhere between 4 and 6 hours. That is absolutely ridiculous. So to upload an hour or hour and a half of video or 45 minutes of video would just take forever, but it just is the way it is. So sorry about that. I would like to make them longer, but it's just a limitation. Another question I was asked the other day: how long does it take to build a rally car, or how long is it going to take us to finish this car? Well, this one's a little bit of a special circumstance because obviously we're just building it bit by bit. We find spare hours. However, with the current situation going on, probably going to have more spare time now than I did before, so I'll continue to plod along with this and do as much as I can. Generally speaking, to build a full rally car takes around about 200 to 300 hours. It just depends on the spec. I am sort of keeping a rough tally on this one as to how long it takes, and at the end of the build I will put a video together on how long it took and roughly what the costs were to put this together as well. So hang on for that one. It's going to be a bit further into the future yet, but we'll get to that. All right, let's get on with getting some work done. Okay, obviously the inside of the car is pretty filthy, so I'm going to vacuum that out shortly. However, there is another bit of a fun task that needs to be done. It's not too bad. I'm actually doing this morning, so it's a bit cooler to get this done. But all throughout the car, all of the floor bungs have been removed, and they look something like this, and they sit in these holes all over the car everywhere. And as you can see, they've got a layer of tar stuck to them. They've actually, some of these have got sealant underneath them as well. So first thing, it's not the most fun job in the world, but we'll try and chip all that tar off, get these all cleaned up, and then these will actually be Sikaflexed, so glued back inside the car again. So I don't know how clearly you can see that on the camera. Hopefully that comes out all right. But here and here, there's factory threads that are captive in the bodywork. Therefore, mounting the handbrake and the rear or the center console, the rear section of the center console, we don't need them for this car. So I'm going to cut those two threads out and get rid of them. What I'll also do is the two holes where the handbrake cables used to come in, as we're now going to run a hydraulic handbrake, different setup. I'll also cut some thin aluminium plates for these as well and glue those in place. Before I get too carried away with getting the painting sorted, I need to get the side intrusion bars set roughly and marked out. It makes it easier to have the clamps in the right place rather than having to slide them over the paint afterwards. So I'll get them to the right height. Basically, the way I'm going to set this is, what I'm doing here is I'm using the seat cross member as my mark, so I know where I'm going, and I'm basically setting it up to be just on 150 millimeters from the bottom of the tube. It's got to go up just a tiny bit, and that gives me a rough marking here. I've also got this bracket lined up in roughly the right place. I've already marked on here where the end of the bracket is and where that would meet the front leg, and I've marked back from there 20 millimeters. So that gives me the length of tube that I need to cut off. I didn't cover the entire spray process. The kill rust paint is quite sticky. It takes quite a while to set and it produces a lot of spray dust. So I didn't want to get that all over the camera and the microphone, obviously. This is what it looks like when it's finished, and now we'll need to wait a couple of days for it to cure and harden off properly, and then we can get into next episode starting to put the car back together, electrics, and bolt in all the other bits and pieces and really get cracking on it. Please like, give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you again on the next episode. Cheers.